Reborn as a bamboo arrow in the northern mountains during the flood and famine period, it grows deep in the mountains, hidden in clouds and mist, with elusive traces that are difficult for people to find. Sun Li lived peacefully for hundreds of thousands of years, guarding the mountains and raising pandas. There is a rumor in the world. There is bamboo in the North Mountain, with a body that connects to the sky and leaves that are boundless. It is born with wisdom and has an unknown lifespan. His divine powers are as broad as those of the witch ancestor demon emperor. There is only one tree in heaven and earth, named 10,000 ancient Tong Tian bamboo. Friend Zhao Gongming invited Zixiao Palace to listen to the teachings for 3 nights. Truncation, elucidation, the West, and the heavenly court all come together. Xuanli stood alone and watched the ups and downs of the times. Fengshen Cataclysm, you combine your previous teaching profession and walk a path of enlightenment in the midst of the chaos. Walking down the North Mountain, he transformed into a great collection of books and histories, teaching the people and enlightening future generations. He established 70.2 academies in the human world to protect it. Based on human merits, cultivate the way of true gods, establish the 3 mountains and 9 peaks, sort out the 5 lakes and 4 seas, and establish the rules of heaven and earth. I am the Saint of Rights, who has been flipping through books for many years. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. There is bamboo in Beishan, its name is Xuanli. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The mountain wind blows away the clouds and mist, stretching out thousands of miles of green mountains. The mountains and valleys are stacked, the clear water is like a mirror, and the scenery on both sides is like a gallery in the sky. In the depths of the North Mountain, it is almost isolated from the world. The morning glow on the horizon shines brilliantly through the clouds, while the mist of the northern mountains disperses into various wonders. Sun Li really likes the smoky sky. For hundreds of thousands of years, the hazy scenery of clouds and smoke has been constantly changing, never repeating itself, bringing a touch of beauty to his monotonous life. In the mountains, deep in the clouds, a slender bamboo shadow quietly emerges. The bamboo body is upright, and the slender and green bamboo leaves are densely arranged, sticking out one by one, looking towards the sky and earth outside the North Mountain. Sun Li was a person in his past life, originally a teacher. The serious kind. In this world, it is this ordinary arrow bamboo. Human spirituality, combined with the long lifespan of plants and trees, created his unique variable. Spend a long time, observing the sky, the sun, and the moon. The method of enlightenment is profound. For Sun Li, being alive is a form of cultivation. Observing the evolution of heaven and earth is also a form of cultivation. Every year, wind, frost, rain, and snow leave subtle marks on his body surface. Countless traces are stacked layer by layer, forming a bamboo pattern of vicissitudes, resembling paintings and talismans, containing infinite mysteries. As the bamboo patterns became more and more complex, Sun Li also gained more and more abilities. Transforming into an adult and walking freely is one of them. A young figure appeared in the same place, dressed in neat green clothes and tied with silk and bamboo hair. He has a handsome and worldly appearance, a gentle temperament, and a slight smile on his lips. It's a pleasure to have friends coming from afar. Sun Li's voice was clear and clear, bringing up layers of green waves in the forest of Beishan. Today is the day we agreed to meet, and our friend Zhao Gongming visited with his 3 sworn sisters. It seems that I was inquiring about his opinion on the matter of apprenticeship, which was already communicated thousands of years ago. He has been rooted in the North Mountain for many years, his massive rhizomes have penetrated into the soil, shattered rocks, and deeply rooted in the depths, already encompassing the entire North Mountain. No wind or grass can escape his ears and eyes. He waited quietly here for his friend to come. Regardless of his past or present life, he has a calm personality and is content with the situation. It's just the coldness in the mountains. A person always feels a bit lonely, lacking comfort and entertainment. It's not physical. It is natural to feel gratified to have an old friend visit. Speaking of his old friend, Sun Li shook the top few branches and leaves, recalling the distant past. In another distant world, there are still some people worth caring about. As he pondered, the entire northern mountain fell silent for a moment. All the spiritual beasts in the mountain stopped, looked up in confusion, and murmured. The wind has stopped. Big brother, you said there is a Taoist friend with extraordinary powers in the North Mountain, but really? It's quite mysterious. Could it be Big Brother's old friend? A woman with an extremely delicate appearance, dressed in simple green silk, yet unable to match Zhong Xiu's agility. She is Bi Xiao among the 3 Xiaos, the youngest and most lively and lovely. She held a muscular and unusually large man in her arms, showing affection. The great Han is Zhao Gongming. There are 2 other women behind her who are the other 2 in the 3 knights, both of whom have extremely outstanding looks, making it difficult to take their eyes off them. But her temperament is different. Yun Xiao has a cooler temperament, while Qiong Xiao is more carefree. The 3 beauties appeared together, and for a moment they were incredibly beautiful. The 4 of them formed a brotherly alliance with Jinlan for many years, advancing and retreating together in the midst of adversity, as close as siblings. Qiong Xiao smiled and said, "Isn't that an extra sister? Go, second sister, just don't tease me. This Taoist friend who practices in the North Mountain is a truly sacred figure. I have been practicing for my brother for so many years, and it was only in the former Zixiao Palace that the first 6 people had seen this kind of charm. In the past, in the Purple Sky Palace, the Taoist ancestor preached for thousands of years. 6 Pu Tuan, 6 people sitting alone at the top of the table. Saint is in sight. The 6 of them have already embarked on their own path and are the influential figures stirring up the storm in the current chaos. Now is the first preaching of Hong Jun from Zixiao Palace, and it is agreed that the second preaching will begin in 1,000 years. There are still over 100 years left. Bi Xiao curled up her mouth and said, "If you don't believe it, you just don't believe it. Big brother has also learned how to blow conches. Why don't people like him go to Zixiao Palace and seize the opportunity to become a saint?" As is well known to the world, the 3,000 guests in the Zixiao Palace are all officials of the times. Is there really such a, indifferent to fame and fortune, creature in the midst of the wilderness? The Taoist preaches and is rewarded by the heavenly way. It is widely recognized as a great good thing in the midst of the flood and famine. There is no living creature that remains unmoved. Becoming a saint is the ultimate pursuit of practitioners. Upon hearing these words, Zhao Gongming remembered his good friend who had also strongly invited Sun Li to go to the Bi Xiao Palace. That day, the 2 of them had a dispute. His voice shook the beasts of the North Mountain, causing them to flee in a row. This is something that the heavenly Tao of the primordial realm approves of, so Taoist friends won't go and take a look. The sage's method is good even if you don't learn and listen to it. This is the method that directly connects to the great Luo Golden Immortal. Sun Li smiled and said, "Don't be angry, Gongming. Although the teachings of a sage are good, they are still the path of others. I have learned the way, why listen to what way? The Tongtian Avenue is right in front of you, and you're not leaving either." Zhao Gongming was full of arrogance. He was already a proud and confident person, and he didn't hesitate to speak up when he thought it was right. Sun Li chuckled lightly and said, "He has the Tongtian Avenue, and I have the Unicorn Bridge. Today, his Tongtian Road, who knows it's not a cliff with a broken head, and who knows my Unicorn Bridge, it won't be the Tongtian Avenue in the future. The sound is not loud but resounding." Looking at Sun Li, who was dressed in green and upright attire, Zhao Gongming felt for the first time that he was a friendly and gentle Xuanli Daoist friend. Surprisingly, there is such sharpness. P.S. The new book is on its way, please have a review ticket and thank you for the flowers. Thank you. Even a single flower, a review ticket, 100 tips, a monthly pass. I hope everyone can support me, thank you. Chapter 2. Within the Beishan Mountains, gods are prohibited from traveling. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The situation has changed, and the Zixiao Palace has been preaching for thousands of years. Among them, there are 3,000 guests in the mortal world, all of whom have made progress in cultivation. I wonder if Sun Li regrets it. The first lecture is an explanation of the level of cultivation, where the heavenly way knows that the vast wilderness leads to spiritual intelligence and ignorance, and there is no way to practice. To cultivate all sentient beings and establish the Xian Men, the first holy Hongjun in this vast wilderness. Hongjun redefined the realm of cultivation, and under the heavenly way, there were saints. A saint is a quasi-saint. Below the quasi-saint is the great Luo Golden Immortal. There are a total of 5 realms below Dalao, from low to high. Tianxian, Jinxian, Xianxian, Jingxian, Tai Jingxian. Zhao Gongming has been listening to the teachings for 1,000 years, and his cultivation has reached the early stage of the Tai Golden Immortal. Except for the late stage realm of the Golden Immortal, the rest of the 3 knights are the mid-stage realm of the Golden Immortal. I don't know which realm this Sun Li Daoist friend from Shenin North Mountain has reached. Yun Xiao was on the side, with a smile on his lips and a soft gaze as he watched the 2 sisters smirk at his brother. The days when 4 people were together were not many, and she cherished them even more. The clouds turned their eyes again, hoping to see the majestic North Mountain. The mountains and waters are beautiful, and the atmosphere is diverse. An image of a blessed and precious place. This mountain is not famous, but it is also one of the first-class blessed places. Especially in the barren land of the West, this mountain has such a remarkable atmosphere, which is even more commendable. However, compared to Sanxian Island and Amei Mountain, they are slightly inferior. The mountain is not high, but it is named after immortals. There are 3 knights on Sanxian Island, Zhao Gongming on Amei Mountain, and the 4 of them also have a considerable reputation in the midst of the flood. There is no famous cultivator in Beishan. I saw that the North Mountain rises up to a continuous 100,000 mountains, coming and going, and indeed one mountain stands alone. Yun Xiao is the most proficient in formations, otherwise he wouldn't have set up the 9-bend Yellow River formation when he was enfeoffed as a god. By leveraging the power of the Hunyuan Golden Dough, one can eliminate the 3 flowers on the top of the 12 golden immortals in one breath. The strength of the cloud formation can be seen. On the water formation, there are also unique achievements. One law can lead to 10,000 laws, and mountains and rivers are interdependent, both of which have mutually reinforcing aspects. I only feel that the North Mountain and other mountain ranges have a magnificent formation looming over them, naturally emerging like a masterpiece. The closer you get to Beishan, the more you feel the momentum of Dingding becoming heavier and more natural. She concluded that there must be someone who is good at this way and has combed through the earth's veins. This Lord of Beishan is definitely not easy. His elder brother, Zhao Gongming, is a proud person. There are few characters in the wilderness that he admires and is highly respected by his brothers. Who exactly is this sacred? Zhao Gongming and Sun Li have an appointment, and the other party will greet him at the main entrance of Beishan. But he is determined to break through. He has been listening to lectures in the Zixiao Palace for thousands of years. I have never slacked off in my self-proclaimed practice, and I often have epiphany. Every time I have an epiphany, I am overjoyed. I was once defeated by this friend, and today I have 3 younger sisters to help me. I will definitely defeat Sun Li's authority. Thinking about it, he became arrogant and squeezed the 2 together. Bai Xiao asked, "Brother, why don't we take the main road and climb the mountain from this small path?" Zhao Gongming stroked his beard and said with a bit of enthusiasm, "Of course, it's a challenge. This North Mountain is a natural formation, and after being carved by my friend, it has already integrated with the mountain. If my guess is correct, most of the North Mountain has already been trained into its own destiny by that guy. The same as practicing magic treasures, the difference is that the original item cannot be taken away by others and has already merged with itself. Upon hearing of her adventure, Bixiao's eyebrows lit up with joy. She loved the hustle and bustle the most. Okay, it's been a long time since we four brothers and sisters broke through the formation together. She raised her fists and was full of fighting spirit. Yunxiao hesitated and said, I'm afraid it's not good, after all, it's my brother's friend. Zhao Gongming waved his hand and said, it's okay, we can't. We used to have a lot of sparring. Especially the word sparring has a meaning of biting teeth. Sun Li was originally an ordinary postnatal spirit, and he never imagined that the cultivation methods and Taoist tools were extraordinary. Several rounds of sparring were all based on Sun Li's victory. How could this make Zhao Gongming feel embarrassed? He is the first ray of fresh breeze in heaven and earth, with deep roots and feet, and is said to be the top innate creature in the vast wilderness. Losing to an ordinary arrow bamboo in the northern mountains, how can one feel so pitiful? He needs to find a place this time. As the four of them walked, they said that as soon as they stepped onto the territory of the North Mountain, a layer of azure ripples appeared in the formation. In an instant, the three of them appeared in a sea of bamboo. Xiong Xiao chuckled lightly and said, there is indeed a magic formation. Watch me break it with a flick of my finger. The three knights are originally formed by the transformation of three clouds, possessing innate merits, and the cultivation takes thousands of miles in a day. I have reached the realm of Golden Immortal, and Golden Immortal is now a good cultivation. Although she doesn't have any innate treasures in her hand, her magical power is indeed impressive. She uses force to break them. But seeing all the magical power in the sky, they could never break through the bamboo sea. Second sister, I'll help you. Bixiao came to assist Xiongxiao, but despite the convergence of two magical powers, they were unable to break through the magic formation. The clouds are on the side, but they are lost in thought. When the three of them were pulled into the bamboo sea in an instant, she frowned. Zhao Gongming raised the Zhenhai Divine Whip, and under the shining of the magic weapon, it rose in the wind, forming a small peak in size. Slam it hard. Bang, a stone shatters the heavens. Shao Qing. The bamboo sea ripples layer by layer, and the wind blows through the green sea, creating a peaceful atmosphere. Apart from Yun Xiao not taking action, Zhao Gongming and the two girls have already done everything possible. Stop playing, this is just playing tricks. Bamboo, bamboo, it's all bamboo. Bixiao has already started shouting. Zhao Gongming was also helpless. Not to mention the North Mountain of Zhishan, he has not even met the main leader now. There is a body of magic in the air that cannot be used in the main formation, which gives him a feeling of being powerless. Big sister, what's your solution? Zhao Gongming knows Yunxiao's ability, and she has never taken action. Xiongxiao and Bixiao also hurriedly asked. Just now, let the people of Beishan see their brother and sister's abilities, even Beishan has been taken up. It's really embarrassing. Yunxiao didn't answer, but sat down quietly and calculated. In no time, there was a sparkling light in my eyes. Brother, you are stepping on the western side 3 miles away. Second sister, step east 10 miles away. Little sister, go 20 miles to the south. Yunxiao said, I will sit here and listen to my command. Let's work together to strike. Okay. The four of them cooperated harmoniously, only hearing a loud bang. The bamboo sea was split open. A step paved with bluestone slabs appeared. At the end of the steps, there is a bamboo tower. Finally breaking the formation, all four of them had smiles on their faces. There is a stone tablet standing in front of the bamboo tower. Within the territory of Beishan, gods are prohibited from walking. I saw that the 8 characters were generous and shining brightly. Zhao Gongming quickly shouted, no, run quickly. Chapter 3. Yuan Shao, filled round balls made of glutinous rice. Flour for Lantern Festival, breaks the array of the Yellow River. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Hurry up, this monument can dispel people's way of life, and can be used to cultivate immortals. Top 3 flowers. Zhao Gongming's dark face finally showed a surprised expression. 1,000 years ago, he argued with Sun Li that this bamboo tower was the core of the Beishan formation. The bamboo used to build the bamboo tower is the essence of Xuanli, built from the fallen bamboo branches and leaves. Among them, Wei Neng is the most clear, almost equivalent to a treasure acquired after birth. Especially the stone tablet at the entrance, the essence of the northern mountain range has been transformed. Divided into 2 by Sun Li, one serves as a stone tablet and the other hangs at his waist. This stone tablet is refined into a magical treasure, and the power of divine powers is the power to eliminate human beings. Once suppressed, the ultimate result is the elimination of innate energy. Zhao Gongming had suffered losses in front of the stone tablet before. How dare he touch this mold? Sanshao knew the importance and immediately avoided it, but he never expected a heavy golden light to shine from the monument. The 4 of them were walking in the mud, unable to move a single step away. I can't dodge at all, I can't fly away. Except for Yun Shao and Zhao Gongming, who struggled to resist for a while, all 4 of them were illuminated by the golden light. My cultivation level is gradually declining, and I can't even use my evasion skills and magic treasures. Xiong Shao said with a mournful expression, it's not fun at all. I won't play anymore. Yun Shao, however, took the 8 big characters on the stone tablet very seriously. Within the territory of Beishan, gods are prohibited from traveling. There are few treasures that can eliminate the magical power of the golden immortal, and they also come with the gravitational force of this law. It must contain the law of the Great Way. This Lord of Beishan must be a great Luo golden immortal. The stone tablet weighs 10,000 pounds and has been suspended above the heads of 4 people. Yun Shao asked, Brother, do you have any solutions? Zhao Gongming said with a bitter face, there is a solution. Bi Xiao said, Brother, when has it been? Don't hide it. Zhao Gongming scratched his face and said, Xuanli, you've said how to crack this law. Seeing Zhao Gongming stuttering, the 3 women urged him again. Just. He pointed to the small character on the stone tablet. It says. When encountering the spirit of the North Mountain and not bowing, your true destiny has been lost. Your name is inscribed on the reincarnation tablet. 3 steps and 1 kowtow, half of your sins will be cut off on the way to life, protecting your true spirit. When Sanshao looked at the small words on the stone tablet, the 3 sisters were all men of backbone and would not kneel down as the leader of Beishan Mountain. Just treat it as if you haven't seen it. However, Sanshao dared not underestimate the Lord of the North Mountain at all. Can trap 4 people with just 1 formation. This person is mostly just Nu Hua, a Taoist from Sanqing, an ordinary person. Big Brother didn't boast. Then let's take a break in this big formation, the 4 of us siblings. Brother, first block the stone tablet, and I will set up a formation in this area to break through the formation. Yun Shao asked, Brother, can you hold on for a moment or 3? Zhao Gongming did not answer and flew up holding the Zhenhai whip, saying. Big sister, don't worry. Yun Shao had already released the formation flag and said, Second sister, third sister, listen to my flag command. This formation is the 6 Chu Yellow River formation, that I learned from the teachings of the Taoist ancestor in Zixiao Palace. Although it is not perfect, it also lacks a treasure to sit on, but its power is extraordinary. The stone tablet was obstructed by Zhao Gongming, and the flag of the 3 knights formation has been quickly arranged. In no time, Zhao Gongming could no longer resist, and the power of the stone tablet became stronger and stronger, while his cultivation gradually lost. This ebbs and flows, and as we approach defeat, we can only grit our teeth and persevere. Fortunately, a burst of yellow sand surged in the formation, and rolling yellow dust filled the air. An invisible river summoned by the formation appears. At the entrance of the North Mountain, there is a figure sitting on a tall green bamboo, which is exactly Sunli. Beishan has long been enveloped by its roots and stems, and no movement can hide it from him. Over the years, little by little, sand has gathered to form a tower, and Beishan is not the tallest among the 100,000 mountains. Through hundreds of thousands of years of cultivation by Sunli, it has long become the highest point in this mountain range. He muttered to himself. Is this the three nights? Indeed, he has extraordinary abilities. During the 3 nights, Zhao Gongming was one of the 4 disciples of the Jiejiao outer sect recorded in the Fengshen. Sunli met Zhao Gongming 100,000 years ago, and as recorded in the records of being a deity, he was an extremely proud and righteous person. Having merit in oneself, truly following the footsteps of a virtuous immortal. The two of them are also considered to have a close relationship and have been together for tens of thousands of years. Zhao Gongming is proud of his innate spirit and is born into a mysterious immortal. I have been wanting to find a place here with Sunli. Sunli smiled and shook his head. Look at the stone tablet in the formation. The 8 big characters on the stone tablet are a bit of fun from the memories of the previous life. Especially the small characters above, there is a little bit of fun in them. It seems that the reincarnation steel is about to be broken. This stone tablet is one of the leftover materials from one of the elite stones in Beishan. After refining for a period of time, it is not difficult to trap the 4 golden immortals. But there are also limits. With the help of the 6-bend yellow river formation in the clouds, this formation has been broken. Sunli rolled up his sleeves and looked at the 4 people below, with a gentle smile on his lips. There is also a prompt sound in the brain. Ding! Watching the 6-Chu Yellow River formation, set up by San Shao, the Yellow River turns many twists and turns, and yellow sand fills the sky, from which one can understand the 9-Chu Yellow River formation. You can combine what you have learned before with the North Mountain formation, where mountains and rivers are connected, and comprehend the 9-bend Yellow River Mountain Jinshan map from it. P.S. Dear readers, please send us flowers and feedback. Thank you. Thank you. Chapter 4. Understanding the Heavens Adventures and Sword for Virtue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is his golden finger. Tens of thousands of years of wind and rain have allowed Sunli to watch the development of Beishan creatures from an observer's perspective. The birth, aging, illness, and death of every living being, the development, prosperity, and decline of every living being. This is his way, which flourishes by observing all things. Although he comes from a low background, he is an ordinary postnatal creature born in the northern mountains. Except for the long lifespan of bamboo, which seems to have no other advantages, just like the common arrow bamboo found everywhere in the North Mountain. Ordinary yet resilient, stretching thousands of miles of green mountains. But with the arrival of Sunli, the soul of later generations, ordinary arrow bamboo becomes unique. Bamboo is still ordinary bamboo, but it is indeed a thoughtful bamboo. The combination of the two has resulted in unimaginable changes. He has achieved full-level comprehension. Observing heaven and earth yields the Dharma, observing all things yields the God. For 1,300 years, watching chicks break eggs and plants break through the soil, combined with themselves, one can comprehend the method of transformation. 20,000 years ago, watching the mist of the North Mountain, the spiritual energy rises and falls, and comprehends the purple cloud taking chi technique. 30,000 years ago, watching the fish crossing the mountains and rivers in Beishan, the thunder falling from the sky was like a waterfall, and the fish leaped over the gate of the dragon, transforming into a dragon, realizing the concept of innate dragon body. For 34,000 years, watching the Pengya fly over the northern mountains, taking a breath for tens of thousands of miles, and understanding the law of flight, Tianping Bian, for 100,000 years, watching the battle of the Demon King in Beishan, countless supernatural powers, combined with tens of thousands of years of experience and personal learning, created the attack and destruction supernatural power, Qin Di Jing. 200,000 years ago, watching the Hongjun Cheng Xing Chuan Yin Hong Huang and the Zixiao Palace preaching, he created the Dao Chuan Yin. In the 20,000 and 8,000 years Sun Li had the ability to resist the heavens and assist him. Over the long years, he was able to transform into a form and gradually shed his acquired body, transforming into an innate Dao body. The real path of cultivation has not been easy. When Hongjun preached before, he invited the creatures of the wilderness. Sun Li did not go, but Hongjun established the Xianmen, which was truly a great merit and great creation. It is also a matter recognized by the heavenly way. Every person who listens to the Tao in Zixiao Palace will possess some merits and subtle Hongmeng purple qi, and their cultivation will also be much smoother in the future. This is the embodiment of heavenly merit and virtue. If preaching and establishing a religion, it would be even greater merit. Sanqing means becoming a saint through the merits of establishing a religion. It is known that Sun Li, as a descendant, knew what calculations Hongjun had made. He established the Xianmen, using sentient beings as ships to cross the other shore of the Dalai Lama, and using the 6 saints as an empty character to clear the cause and effect of several major disasters in the wilderness. The great apocalypse of Fengshen enabled us to merge with the heavenly way. From then on, the heavenly way was flawless, and the fate of all beings became puppets of the heavenly way. Moreover, listening to Hongjun Avenue in Zixiao Palace is equivalent to having a master-disciple relationship with Hongjun, and there is also causality involved. Sun Li was naturally unwilling. So it's okay not to go, anyway, he has the intelligence to go against the heavens and help. Give him time, he will create a true way of becoming a saint. The cultivation system created by Hongjun, which states that all 3,000 great paths can become saints. In the end, there are only 4 paths to take, except for the first one where Pangu, the great deity, practiced to the extreme to prove the Tao. In the endless years of time, only Pangu succeeded. The second is to behead the 3 corpses to become holy, the good corpses, the evil corpses, and the self corpses. Finally, the 3 corpses merge to become holy, and there is only one person in the wilderness, who is the Daozu Hongjun. The third path is to become a saint through merit and the combination of Hongmeng and Ziki, to become a saint of Sanqing, and to become a Nuwa. The fourth point is to make a grand wish to become a saint. The 2 saints in the West are like this. If they do not fulfill their vows, they will inevitably suffer from the decline of heaven and humanity, and the great way will backfire and die. The 4 roads have no height, each with its own unique strengths. But if you want to be the most carefree and free, then it must be achieved through strength, followed by the execution of 3 corpses, the cultivation of merit, and finally the cultivation of grand wishes. The last 3 require the Hongmeng purple qi. But there are only 7 purple energies in this vast wilderness. This is also a pit buried by Hongjun. Sun Li wanted to embark on a true path of becoming a saint, a path comparable to that of the great god Pangu. With the deepening of cultivation, hundreds of thousands of years of practice. His dream has already changed, he wants to become holy. Otherwise, the catastrophe will eventually turn into cannon fodder. The time when Nuwa created humans was when he obtained the northern mountain under the guidance of Sun Li. The human race is the best investment target and the greatest potential stock in the current era, and there is no one. Heaven's way, earth's way, humanity. Only when the 3 paths are established can the world truly be stable, and among them, humanity is the foundation of all eternity. As the future ruler of the world, the living beings have not yet appeared, and Nuwa has just listened to a lecture at Zixiao Palace. Sun Li is not in a hurry, nor is he in a hurry. Waiting for the changes of the times. Now, with a smile on his lips, he looked at the 4 people of Beishan Sanshao. At this moment in the formation. With the deployment of the 6 Chu Yellow River Formation for 3 nights, the stone tablets were separated, and Zhao Gongming was able to escape. 4 people gathered together. Watching the stone tablet fly away, several people breathed a sigh of relief. Qiongxiao was proud and held Yunxiao's arm, bending and saying, "Is this just the case with the northern mountain formation? I completely forgot about the embarrassment just now." Zhao Gongming's face also showed a smile, but fortunately he didn't have to beg Sun Li, otherwise he would have to lose face more. Yunxiao asked, "Brother, is climbing the bamboo tower considered breaking the formation?" "The bamboo tower above the steps is not far away." A stone tablet at the entrance fell steadily back to its original position. Zhao Gongming stroked his beard and said, "It should be true. As long as you climb the bamboo tower, you will break the formation." Qiongxiao said, "Big brother, it's not too late. If we don't break through quickly, let the Lord of Beishan know our strength. After speaking, we are ready to start hiking." Just as the stone tablet was restored, a long sword hanging from the bamboo tower slowly flew out. A fierce sword light shot straight into the sky. The sword style is ancient and simple, with great craftsmanship and no craftsmanship. The hilt of the sword is tattooed with the character, Da. Zhao Gongming's eyes changed, as if he was thinking of something terrifying, and he only said, "Not good. Not good, not good. Say 3 bad things in a row." The sword has not yet come out. The sky has been stirred up by wind and clouds. An inch out of the sheath of the long sword, thunder burst forth in the sky. The long sword was unsheathed by 2 inches, and a strong wind blew around it. The long sword is unsheathed inch by inch. The 4 poles of heaven and earth are filled with wind, rain, and lightning. In a state of panic and thunder, the 4 of them were like being caught in the eye of a storm. Sanshao was already shocked by the scene before him and couldn't speak. This kind of prestige. There is a great potential to reopen the 4 poles and create all things. It's not something the 4 of them can resist anymore. The 4 of them were already unstable in the formation, and their entire magical power was used to resist the incoming powerful force. Thunderbolts in the sky have evolved to the extreme, transforming into lightning plasma and then into dragon and phoenix shapes. Black clouds press down on the mountain. Amidst the rolling black clouds, it is unknown what terrifying blow is brewing. Zhao Gongming loves face, but he dare not joke about the lives of his 3 sisters. Quickly shouting, "Xuanli, Zhao Gongming is here." The shouting shook the fields, but there was no movement at all. The long sword on top flickered in the clouds and mist, and the sword energy surged for thousands of miles. It will be a thunderous blow soon. Zhao Gongming dared not neglect any more and shouted, "Brother Sun, Zhao Gongming is here, bringing 3 girls to visit." P.S. Seeking evaluation votes, flowers, thank you readers. Chapter 5. Sun Li's plan to greet guests and seal gods. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Especially the word "Big Brother" accentuates spoken English. Dare to speak confidently. The thunder disappeared, the black cloud was gone, and the sword energy dissipated. The sky is blue and white clouds, a peaceful scene. 4 people appeared near the bamboo tower, a staircase made of bluestone slabs. The bamboo forests on both sides moved with the wind, and a bamboo leaf fell on the shoulder of the young man who appeared on the steps. The young man was dressed in neat green clothes, with neat black hair and eyes as black as stars, quietly watching the 4 of them. Gentle temperament, with a smile on the corners of the mouth. It seems that we have been waiting for guests for a long time. The clouds froze in amazement. It took a while for me to come back to my senses. This is the Lord of Beishan. At that moment, she seemed to see the Taoist ancestor welcoming guests at Zixiao Palace. It was as if I saw myself emerging from my youth and walking into the Mount Buzhou, seeing the tranquility of that towering mountain. For a moment, I even felt a little timid, and even my body seemed stiff. But as the young man smiled, the spring breeze brushed against his face. Without that profound and ethereal temperament, there is a sense of familiarity and closeness. Gongming, long time no see. How come you're going to break through my North Mountain formation? Zhao Gongming was quite embarrassed and scratched his head. I saw the young man bow slightly and then look at San Shao, saying, I'm going to Sunli, my friend from the Three Knights Road. If you miss me, welcome me from afar. It's a pleasure to have friends coming from afar. Sunli, his heart was filled with more joy. 3 nights ago, I was a bit flustered and saluted. I saw the young man with his hands folded in his sleeves and a smile on his lips. At this moment, all the spiritual beasts in the mountain stopped, looked up in confusion, and murmured. The wind is rising. 100 years have passed in the blink of an eye, and the North Mountain remains as before. There is a bamboo tower above it, located at the highest point of this northern mountain. All living beings living in it serve as pilgrimage sites. The bamboo tower has 3 floors. If many demon kings were here today, they would be surprised to find guests in the bamboo tower. You should know that the northern mountain demon cannot resist seeing the bamboo tower at first sight. It is said that there is a golden immortal demon who has never seen this ordinary bamboo tower kneeling here for 1,000 years. Today on the 2nd floor, there are 3 women drinking tea by the window, each of whom looks like a fairy. Sunli painted alone. San Nu is exactly San Shao. Zhao Gongming heard 2 days ago that a formidable demon king had arrived in the northern mountains, which was an ancient iron-eating beast. Many monsters have been recruited within the territory of Beishan, claiming to become the new lord of Beishan. Zhao Gongming was itching for a moment and clamored to go out and take a look. Sunli did not stop him either. The entire northern mountain area was like a 360-degree surveillance camera, and no plant or tree could escape his eyes. He knew when the silly iron-eating beast stepped into the North Mountain. That is, the giant panda with black circles under its eyes from a previous life. Zhao Gongming has been tired of staying in Beishan for 100 years. If it weren't for both Yun Xiao and Xuanli's peaceful nature, they wouldn't have known where the wilderness had gone. Yun Xiao looked at the landscape painting in Sun Li's hand. A winding yellow river spanning tens of thousands of miles, with 6 curves and 12 bends, rushing into the sea, filled with yellow sand. At the entrance to the sea, 3 giant mountains stand tall, like guards guarding the yellow river's entry into the sea. The 100-year time spent with Sunli has long been amazed by the methods of this North Mountain Lord. This Lord of Beishan, whether in talent or supernatural ability, is one and the same. As her elder brother said, Sunli was not weak among the 6 members of Zixiao Palace, and she already had a certain affirmation in her heart. The painting is full of divine meaning, with the steep and rapids of the Yellow River, and the rushing momentum of going out to sea. Isn't this your own, 6-Chu Yellow River formation? Shocked in the heart. I have been exploring the North Mountain myself and have used it once. Have you just been learned by the other party? I can't believe it in my heart. She has been studying this formation for tens of thousands of years, and once someone learns it, she cannot accept it. Bai Xiao also leaned over and said, Brother Sun, isn't this big sister's 6-Chu Yellow River formation? For 100 years, several people have become familiar with each other. Moreover, it was learned from Zhao Gongming that Sunli and Zhao Gongming had already become brothers, and Sunli was the eldest brother. With these years of interaction, Sunli's abilities and character have long been recognized by San Shao. Sunli said, exactly. Watching the clouds carefully, the many changes in the formation were indeed the same, and many details were even more perfect than hers. I am amazed in my heart. Yun Xiao asked, is this the evolution of the formation that Sun Daoyu saw me set up in the North Mountain? Sunli put down his pen and looked at the 3 women approaching. Exactly. Yun Xiao bowed slightly and said, the height of the Taoist Friends formation far surpasses the clouds. Yun Xiao admires it. A master is a teacher, and in the midst of adversity, it is never a matter of seniority, cultivation, or fate. There was a hint of desolation in her tone, as anyone with their own expertise who was easily learned by the other person would feel disappointed. Sunli noticed a change in Yunxiao's expression. With a slight smile, he said, Miss Yunxiao, don't be disappointed. This formation is profound and unpredictable, and it took me 100 years of hard work to comprehend it. Of course, this was Xunli's courtesy. With his understanding, he created the 9-Chu Yellow River Zhenhai map after only reading it once. It doesn't take 100 years, just afraid of hitting this gentle and tough girl from the sky. After spending 100 years together, the temperament and appearance of the three women still impressed Xunli. Bixiao is the youngest and also has a cute appearance, like a mischievous neighbor sister. Xiong Zhao's temperament has added a touch of heroism, wearing a colorful skirt and long legs below, flawless and snow-white. The most likable thing is still Yunxiao, with a gentle temperament and a more graceful figure. That is to say, it should be big and full, with a slender and delicate design, especially a pair of bare feet that are beautiful and captivating. The three women are not like ordinary things, every frown and smile is heart-stirring. Fortunately, Xunli has been transformed into a spiritual bamboo in his lifetime, and his heart has become more pure and less lustful. Otherwise, I can't resist living in the same room with the three women. P.S. Dear readers and gentlemen, please cast flowers and review votes. Thank you. Chapter 6. Shocking Clouds. Xunli gives bamboo as a gift. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Zhao Gongming met him, Xunli's cultivation level was not too high at that time. Fortunately, Zhao Gongming saved him. Although he had no worries about his life, the consequence was that he had to leave Beishan. It was precisely this attack that made him realize reality. In the midst of the wilderness, the true law of the jungle is to strengthen oneself. If you don't have strength, you won't even be able to protect the things you protect. Zhao Gongming can be considered his first friend in the midst of adversity. A friend's sister is naturally also a sister, and of course, she may also be a romantic sister. And he really likes Sanshao. The strokes in Xunli's hand changed again. The yellow river in the void is surging again. This is an attempt to help Sanshao create the 9-bend Yellow River formation in advance, and I don't know what impact it had on the later function. Back in the day, Sanshao was bullied by the primitive heavenly sovereign, who explored and broke through the formation. Although the 9-melody Yellow River formation is mysterious, it is indeed disappointing for saints. The power of a sage is to connect heaven and earth. But if this formation is further improved by Xunli, then it will be assisted by the Hunyuan Jindo. The primitive heavenly sovereign wanted to easily capture Bixiao, but it wasn't that easy. I have a plan in mind. This is the 9-Chu Yellow River Mountain Town map that I learned from last time I saw Yunxiao girls. Xunli casually threw away the blueprint, and the 9-curved yellow river on the blueprint transformed into a shape inside the bamboo tower. A smoke and dust rolling 9-curved yellow river appeared across the void. Rushing for thousands of miles, with yellow sand filling the sky. With this one hand, the beautiful eyes of Sanshao were shocked and amazed. Practice the fake to make it real. It has already been a means of the later stage of the great Luo Golden Immortal. You should know that currently, there are only 3,000 red dust guests of the purple cloud skill, and only the supreme sage Laozi is a member of the later stage of the great Luo. This is not shocking. Xunli continued, Miss Yunxiao, the 6-Chu Yellow River formation you created has the ability to trap the enemy, but lacks defense and true formation eyes. Looking at the clouds, there are changes in the void. I saw the mouth of the Yellow River flowing into the sea, with 3 large mountains falling from the sky like a huge seal. Juku Yellow River. A towering mountain. Mountains and rivers are interdependent. The scenery is proud. Yunxiao's eyes were trembling, almost losing focus. If I had just imitated her formation earlier, would have already surpassed her boundaries. This is far from the formation, 6-Chu Yellow River formation, created by oneself. The Juku Yellow River is the ultimate application of water methods. It's not something she can achieve with her current formation cultivation. Especially the 3 sacred mountains at the mouth of the sea, like antelopes hanging their horns. The exquisite and unparalleled landscape chain is both stunning and terrifying. She didn't know who could lay such a formation. How despairing it would be to be enemies with this person. Watching the 3 huge mountains form unique angles, advancing can attack, retreating can defend. As solid as gold soup. The missing corner of the formation in Yinxiao's heart has finally been filled. Although this formation is wonderful, it lacks the true eye of the formation, which is also a concern for her. The main reason is that she cannot create a mountain formation at the same level as the Yellow River formation. Her heart was filled with nothing but shock and surprise. And with infinite surprises, she loves formations, especially the ones she creates that tend to improve towards perfection. Her beautiful eyes looked at Qingyi in the bamboo tower. Fortunately she was a friend, not an enemy. For some unknown reason, there was suddenly a hint of sweetness in my heart that I had never experienced before. Sun Li smiled at one of them. A rare blush appeared on Yinxiao's face. Xia Fei's cheeks. What a sight! Sun Li was stunned, and indeed the killing power of the beautiful woman was unparalleled. The so-called female celebrity in her past life was too pale in front of such naturally nurtured and spirited fairies. How could the old thief from the primordial heavenly lord be punished? Hey! My heart couldn't help but move. Since I wanted to help Yunxiao, it was better to help more. Sun Li extended his hand and pointed. 10 clusters of lush green bamboo are planted in front of the bamboo gate, ready to drip. Several bamboo seedlings were uprooted from within and fell into the hands. Sun Li said, on the North Mountain, there are 10 of the most important immortal bamboo trees, all of which I have personally cultivated for tens of thousands of years. They are all innate spiritual roots, and bamboo has 10 virtues. Immortal bamboo corresponds to them. The ancestors of the bamboo on both sides of the steps are the descendants of the brave bamboo, among them. These disciples and grandchildren in the bamboo forest here have also been exposed to the light. If they were built into a bamboo tower, being in it all year round would double their cultivation. After finishing speaking, a green bamboo fell into the hands of Bixiao and said, Miss Bixiao, I know you are lagging behind your 2 sisters in cultivation. You should move forward bravely, and this brave bamboo seedling will be gifted to you. Apart from the one I personally cultivated, this is the best seedling. Bixiao looked at the bamboo in her hand, full of spiritual energy, and without careful sensing, she already knew it was an innate spiritual root. Knowing its value, there was no polite response. Thank you, Brother Sun. Bixiao whispered, I'm not falling behind in my cultivation. Sun Li smiled and touched Bai Zhao's head. Bamboo has a texture similar to stone, and can only be used as a tool. It is called, strong in nature. This is a strong bamboo, planted around, with abundant vitality, weak in mind, and untainted by evil spirits. Miss Qiongxiao, I am giving it to you as a gift. Your mind is constantly changing, but you need to know that practicing is like rowing a boat. If you don't advance, you will retreat. Qiongxiao picked up the bamboo with a smile and clasped his fists, saying, Thank you very much, Brother Sun. Sun Li nodded. Finally, looking into the clouds. Yunxiao's face turned red from his gaze, and he kept lowering his head to avoid his gaze. Miss Yunxiao, I know that your heart to seek the Tao is firm, and you have never slackened in both your cultivation and mental cultivation. Facing the wind, the jade bamboo stands tall and upright, calling it Zhuer Zhu. I hope you are outstanding and lead the way. Yunxiao felt the bamboo seedlings in his hand, and there was still Sun Li's body temperature in his hand, causing red clouds to fly up his face. Listening to Sun Li's words again, my heart was in turmoil. Chapter 7. Eternal Bamboo, Giant Panda, Round Circle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yunxiao said, Thank you very much, Sun Dao. Sun Li smiled and said, are you still called Sun Daoyu? Can't you just change your mind and say, brother, dot? The soft mosquito voice in the sky said, Sun. The last two words couldn't be said, and Sun Li didn't joke anymore. Looking at the shy appearance of Yunxiao. Who else can tease the Empress for 3 nights in the famine? Sun Li continued, 3 types of bamboo seedlings. After you find a suitable mountain range, plant them and integrate them into the 3 mountains of Zhenhai in the 9 Chu Yellow River Zhenhai map. They will have a different effect. There is an enhanced version of 9 Bend Yellow River Formation, and all 3 types of spiritual bamboo have the ability to protect themselves. If the 12 golden immortals were to break through the formation during the Battle of Fengshan, not to mention the previous 9 Chu Yellow River Formation, it would be enough for them to drink a pot. Now that the improvements have been made, as long as he dares to join the battle, there will be no return. Previously, there was also a Taoist named Luya who ran out of it, a scattered immortal who had been intervening in the canonization of the 2 sects of the Zhanjie sect. Zhao Gongming was killed by him using the 7 arrows curse with a ding head. Sun Li speculated that this quasi-saint level Luya Daoist, the backstage is Hong Jun. It is a chess piece secretly used by Hong Jun to control the Fengshan. This time there is the 9 Bend Yellow River Zhenhai map, to see how the Taoist Luya runs. At this moment, outside the bamboo tower, there came a sound of heroic dry clouds. Sun Li, 3 sisters, come and take a look. I have caught this ancient iron-eating beast. Sun Li smiled and said, it seems that Gongming has returned. 4 people pushed open the bamboo tower. I saw a dark and majestic man standing on the steps of the bamboo tower, dragging a round object with magic in his hand. It was Zhao Gongming who went out to catch the iron-eating beast and returned. The object in hand is the fierce and powerful demon in the mouth of the Northern Mountain group of demons. A plump, seemingly underage giant panda. Even if captured, there is no shame of being a prisoner. On the contrary, with feet spread out in the air, claws akimbo, and a round white belly, he looked down on a few people. Hey, I'm the ancestor of pandas and the king of iron. You little demons, why don't you offer delicious food? Bixiao was amused by the adorable panda and said, Big brother, are you sure you caught an ancient iron-eating beast, not a snack? The ancient iron-eating beasts who carved gold and cracked the earth, pushed mountains and moved the sea, and swallowed gold and iron, were the powerful beasts in the animal race. The famous ancient divine beasts looked stunned. Zhao Gongming also had a puzzled expression on his face. He thought it was a fierce battle, but he didn't expect to fight a few times before we met. The iron-eating beast saw that Zhao Gongming was so powerful that he didn't want to fight anymore, so he wanted to sworn brothers with him. Zhao Gongming couldn't bear to laugh bitterly, so he brought the bamboo tower. After hearing this, Bixiao smiled happily and reached out to touch the head of the iron-eating beast. Patted open by the furry little hand of the panda. Don't pat the head of the panda ancestor, he won't grow tall. A few people were amused again. Sun Li had an emerald green bamboo leaf in his hand, and the panda's nose sniffed and its eyes lit up. What flavor, so fragrant. Following his gaze, he looked at the green bamboo in Sun Li's hand and immediately ran over. What kind of spiritual bamboo is this? Ow! Regardless of 3, 7, 20.1. Holding on to the bamboo was like gnawing on it, disregarding the hand that Sun Li placed on his head. It's really delicious, wow. Sun Li said to Zhao Gongming, this ancient iron-eating beast made a living on bamboo and has a connection with me. Gongming will give it to me. Zhao Gongming said nonchalantly, you are the Lord of Beishan, so I can just help you. Upon hearing the Lord of Beishan, the panda immediately raised its ears and its 2 black ears swayed left and right. Looking at Sun Li in front of him, he was a bit hesitant to speak up and said, are you the bamboo of Beishan? Sun Li smiled and said, of course, don't you also want to be the Lord of Beishan? San Shao watched the giant panda's stunned appearance, laughing profusely. The giant panda observed the bamboo tower and the surrounding bamboo that made him drool. The stone tablet on the steps and the ancient sword hanging on the bamboo tower. This bamboo tower has always vaguely existed on the North Mountain. The most mysterious place in Beishan. Panda, I just wanted to see you, that's why I'm using this banner. I'm not trying to steal your position as the head of the North Mountain. Beishan has its true owner, the bamboo of Beishan. Having not appeared for tens of thousands of years, even the demon beasts that have lived here for generations have regarded the bamboo of Beishan as a legend of their ancestors. It is known that it knows that the bamboo of Beishan must exist. His ancestors have seen it before. Distant mountains, severely injured pandas, ferocious and bloodthirsty white tigers, mysterious green bamboo, a fierce battle lasting 3 days and 3 nights, earth fissures and landslides, and the sky and earth are dim. The ancient story has been passed down from generation to generation, mixed with countless fantasy colors, like a legendary ancient myth. With a slightly more serious tone, he said. It is rumored that there is bamboo in the northern mountains, with a body that is connected to the sky and leaves that are boundless. It is born with intelligence and has an unknown lifespan. His divine powers are as broad as those of the witch ancestor demon emperor. There is only one tree in heaven and earth, named 10,000 ancient Tongtian bamboo. Wangu Tongtian bamboo. Sun Li smiled and realized that he was just an ordinary arrow bamboo. The panda patted its chest and said, "Then I'll hang out with you in the future. My grandfather's grandfather said he can enjoy spicy food and drink spicy food with you." He had long known about the origin of this little panda. Tens of thousands of years ago, he took in a panda and was injured by a white tiger before fleeing to the North Mountain. Sun Li remembered that the giant panda was a national treasure in his previous life, and in a moment of surprise, he casually killed the white tiger and saved the giant panda. Let it stay by your side for a period of time. If the giant panda leaves later, it should be its ancestor. Unexpectedly, the thin and small panda back then already had grandchildren. Bixiao asked, "Snackers, your grandfather's grandfather?" Speaking of which, the giant panda's big eyes seemed to be moistened with dew. "Grandpa's grandfather, he's dead. Grandpa, he's dead. Grandma, she's dead. Mom, I'm dead. Dad, he's dead." The little panda clenched its fist and said, "I want to avenge them." After hearing this, San Shao touched the panda with heartache. Sun Li said, "You can follow me from now on. Raising giant pandas in Beishan is also a pleasure." Sun Li said, "In the future, you can call it Yuan Yuan." Giant pandas remember that their ancestors were called Tuan Tuan. It touched its head, round and round. The Lord of Beishan doesn't seem to know how to choose a name, and it doesn't sound domineering at all. P.S. If there are flowers, please send them. Thank you. Chapter 8. Apprentice to the Sky, finalize the opening of the Zixiao Palace lecture. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Another 10 years have passed. The North Mountain remains calm. Just another giant panda who loves to roll by the bamboo tower. Yuan Yuan, can you stop being so greedy? You know how to eat all day long. Look at how much you can eat, you're almost eating up the bamboo in Beishan. You see you've grown so fat. Bixiao used her hand to push the fat accumulation on her round belly. 10 years have passed, and there has been no change in Beishan. Bamboo towers, steps, bamboo towers, stone tablets, ancient swords, have always been like this. The only difference is that Yuan Yuan went from a thin and small panda to a chubby panda. Yuan Yuan kept pulling the emerald green bamboo leaves into his mouth and said, "What do you know, fairy? Our iron-eating beast clan cultivates immortality by eating. You see, in just 10 years, the realm of Xianxian in the early stage has reached the middle stage. What's wrong with being overweight? It's called being strong. There are so many good ingredients here, I don't know what kind of hard times I used to live. Yuan Yuan ignored by Xiao squatting on the side and ate bamboo on her own. Xiong Xiao joked, "Little sister, I haven't eaten your bamboo yet. Why are you so anxious? Who has such a foodie?" "Don't worry," said Bixiao sorrowfully. Sunli and Zhao Gongming don't know when they came here. Sunli didn't care and said, "Don't worry." He was born with a natural ability to catalyze spiritual bamboo. Over the years, the bamboo I have cultivated is not only enough for a circle, but also more than enough for tens of thousands of circles. Zhao Gongming also said, "Sunli, our family is very rich. What are you worried about, little sister?" Sunli just smiled, and the current situation is indeed like this, without going through a war between witches and demons. Opportunities abound in the Eastern world, and blessed mountains abound everywhere. It can be called the golden age of the wilderness, where you can find spiritual treasures on the road. In the world of spiritual cultivation recorded in later generations, any spiritual pulse can change the entire world. Although he has lived in the North Mountain for a long time, he has already cultivated and strengthened the terrain of the North Mountain and the surrounding immortal grass, trees, and various spiritual roots. Although Beishan's reputation is not prominent, this is also why he deliberately kept a low profile. This place has long become the northern wilderness of the Western world, with the best spiritual energy and fortune. Sorting out the earth's veins and completing the mountains and rivers will also receive rewards for the merits of the heavenly way. Over the years, he has cultivated merit bamboo by condensing his merits. Can regulate and suppress qi flow, resist qi stagnation. 5 people have been communicating for 100 years, each with their own opinions, which has also benefited Sun Li a lot. At this moment, in the midst of the wilderness, a ethereal and profound voice penetrated all directions. In the wilderness, even spiritual beings can understand and hear. "I am Hongjun, and the millennium has arrived. 10 years later, in the 33rd day outside the Purple Cloud Palace, I will preach for another 1,000 years. Those who have faith can come and listen." Just finished speaking. There are hundreds of auspicious clouds rising above the North Mountain, heading towards the center of the world of floods and wastelands. Zhao Gongming looked around at Duanguang and said, "Daozu has started his second preaching, so I have to go." He was not in a hurry either, as there were 3,000 mortal guests in the Purple Sky Palace. After the first attempt to seize Futuan, the order has been determined. There are 6 Putuans in front of 3,000, with Zhu Hongjun sitting high on the platform. If you can't grab the Putuan, it's right outside the Zixiao Palace. Anyway, Daozu won't blame you. Zhao Gongming did not invite him this time, and the seating arrangements in the Zixiao Palace have been finalized. With Sun Li's ability, he would never sit in the back seat. He also didn't forget important things. Zhao Gongming said, "Although the 4 of us are top-notch innate beings, we cannot compare ourselves to true experts. Therefore, we have discussed appointing one of the 3 cleaners as our teacher." After speaking, he looked at Sun Li with his eyes. "Sun Li, what do you think?" This is the main reason why the 4 of them came to Beishan. Yun Xiao also said, "Sanqing is the orthodox tradition of Pangu and has the merit of opening up the heavens. The Taoist ancestor said that cultivators should have wealth, laws, and land. Now that the Taoist ancestor has passed down the law to all living beings, the great calamity will also enter. Only by relying on a great figure can one truly achieve it." Sun Li smiled and said, "You already have an answer in your heart. Why bother asking me again?" Zhao Gongming and his 3 younger sisters looked at each other. It seems that all thoughts in his heart were detected by Sun Li. Sun Li said, "Among the Taoist priests of Sanqing, Laozi values fate and does nothing in Taoism. His primitive nature is ruthless, and he values his background the most. He is arrogant and discriminates against those who have been warned by Mao. Only by connecting with the heavens, its nature is like fire, there is no distinction between education and non-discrimination. The path to enlightenment is most in line with your temperament." Zhao Gongming was overjoyed and nodded. 3 nights later. They had a conflict with the big clan in the wilderness at once. The other party was crowded and the four of them couldn't resist. Coincidentally, a Taoist from Sanqing passed by. Laozi watched from the sidelines. Primitive sitting and ignoring, still arrogantly bullying humanity. How could he, a beast with fur and horns, be in this wilderness? Only by reaching out to the heavens can we break free. The four of them were grateful in their hearts. So he discussed the matter of apprenticeship, and Zhao Gongming thought of Sun Li from Beishan, who was a good friend and had a lot of foresight. Let's discuss with Beishan. Seeing that Sun Li's opinion coincided with the four of them, they were all happy. Sun Li knew, however, that the four of them had a master-disciple relationship with Tong Tian. Tong Tian now has many treasures, and several inner disciples of Jinling have been with him since childhood. External disciples are all skilled craftsmen. The four disciples of the outer sect, who worship the master Tong Tian, are known as the four great disciples of the outer sect. Zhao Gongming, after knowing the result, San Shao said goodbye and went to the Zixiao Palace to listen to the teachings. Sun Li and the giant panda watched as the four of them left. The second preaching of the Zixiao Palace is about to bring about some major events. The two races of witches and demons will also embark on the grand stage of the wilderness. After a while, Yin Shao flew back alone. Sun Li was puzzled. Suddenly, a warm fragrance entered my arms, and I had not yet fully felt it. I only heard in my ear, "Brother Sun, goodbye." Sun Li watched as the figure of the clouds drifted away. Two hands clasped in sleeves, fluttering in the wind. Sun Li smiled at the corners of his mouth and felt particularly relaxed. Sitting and watching the storms rise, I am alone and at ease. P.S. In the last chapter of today, even if it's a flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 rewards, a monthly pass. I hope everyone can support me, thank you. Chapter 9. 2 lectures on the way of being a precious saint in Zixiao Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 33 Heavens. Zixiao Palace, today the purple air is vast for millions of miles. It is the day when the sage preaches. In the wilderness, Daning dared not delay, stepped on the heavenly ladder, walked the golden rainbow, and wielded great magic to reach the entrance of the purple sky palace. They all exclaim, "The sage preaches, the sage is compassionate." One old, one middle, and one young are the most prominent. The old man is Laozi Taiqing, the eldest transformed by Panga Yuanshen, the middle-aged man is the second transformed by Yuqing primitive Panga Yuanshen, and the young man is the third transformed by Shangqing Tongtian and Panga Yuanshen. Sanqing is the manifestation of the great world, with 3 forms. The beginning of all things, the end of all things, and the foundation of existence. According to Hongjuan's newly established realm, all 3 of them are in the realm of the great Luo Golden Immortal, and Laozi is even in the later stage of the great Luo Golden Immortal. These 3 individuals are at the forefront of the great power of the times, claiming to be the authentic Sanqing Shangren of Pangu. The 2 of them, one male and one female with a snake tail, were siblings of Fu Shi and En Yuhua. Following them were 2 people with similar facial expressions, wearing crowns and an indescribable noble temperament, one being an emperor and the other being too noble. There are also 2 bald people with compassionate faces, one is Zhuanti and the other is Jane. After a long time, another woman appeared, with a snake tail and 7 hands in the back. In the front, she held 2 ting snakes in both hands, and a thick and heavy aura rushed towards her, named Hudu. There are also a bird, a worm, a coffin, a flower, a beam of light, a touch of electricity, and so on, all kinds of strange creatures. At this moment, a surprised voice came from the chaos and said, "Friend Jinyuan, come quickly." In the blink of an eye, everyone noticed that the shadow of a red cloud and a tree had already arrived in front of them. It is Hongyun, a kind-hearted old man in the wilderness, and his good friend Jin Yuanzi. Because after the first preaching, everyone became familiar with it. Hongyun spoke up and said, why don't you fellow Taoists transform into images of innate Tao bodies? This is also a respect for saints. Everyone promises. The innate Tao body is an ability that can only be possessed above the mystical immortal in a detached form. So, humanoid creatures with different appearances caught the eye. At this moment, the confined Zixiao Palace slowly opened. A pair of young boys and girls said to the crowd, "The master is waiting in the hall. Senior brothers, please enter the hall." After everyone entered the hall, they saw the sage sitting high on the platform, with the remaining 6 buns filled with purple air, and 3,000 buns shrouded in purple air but one size smaller. Everyone is not in a hurry when they arrive, because for the first time preaching, the sage gave a golden speech and decided not to change. Everyone still harbors resentment towards the previous plunder of the 6 cattails, but the sage preaches that no one dares to act recklessly at this time. Especially Kunpeng, who was forced to give up his seat last time, had a bad gaze towards Hongyun. The top 3 of the 6 Puchuans are Sanqing Laozi, primitive and heavenly. The 4th one is Nu Hua, with Fu Shi standing behind her. The 5th and 6th are admission and admission. After 6 Futuan, there were Emperor Jun and 1 or 2 brothers. The 2 of them were originally the sun star transformed from Pangu's left eye, giving birth to a 3-legged golden crow. They were born with great energy and were already proud. The first preaching was about to join forces to grab a futon when it was interrupted by the mournful cries of 2 bald men, Zhuanti and Jane. When Hongyun honestly gave up his seat and Kunpeng was forced down, Hongjun had already booked his seat, and the 2 brothers were helpless. Red Cloud and Zhen Yuanzi in the back enjoyed themselves without any worries about the first 6 caddies. Not long after, Hongjun, who was standing tall on the platform, spoke up. "This time we are discussing the realm of quasi-holy realm, and last time we were discussing the realm of Dalai Lama. The gathering of Taoist fruits above the Xianxian is called the Golden Immortal, and the gathering of Taoist fruits enriches the Tai Golden Immortal. The Tai Dao fruit evolved into the law of Deluo, and the law of breaking the mirror became the quasi-saint. The ultimate principle of quasi-saint, supplemented by the foundation of preaching, is considered sacred." After the sage finished speaking, he closed his eyes and remained silent, leaving only one sentence. "The law does not spread to the 6 ears. Just keep closing your eyes and not talking again." The Hutu of the Wu tribe heard the preaching content of today's Zixiao Palace and also heard the sage speak. After standing up and bowing to the sage, he retired and descended to the Purple Sky Palace. The Wu tribe is transformed from the essence and blood of Pangu. They only cultivate their physical body, not their spiritual essence. By practicing their physical body to the extreme, they can become holy. The cultivation method mentioned by Hongjun is not suitable for the Witch tribe. The Witch tribe does not have a primordial spirit and cannot cultivate this system. The Wu people do not respect heaven and earth, only Pangu, and naturally do not respect Hongjun. The 12 ancestral witches did not come, only Ho Tu came to listen to the Zixiao Palace's first preaching without any gain. The second lecture is also a quasi-holy lecture. The witch race cannot practice, so it is better to retire. I don't know how long it has been. Hongjun said, "The time has come, the second lecture begins." Everyone remained silent. Hongjun began to preach the path of accuracy and sanctity. At this moment, the sky is in chaos, the ground is filled with golden lotus flowers, mountains, rivers, and lakes are manifested, with a divine dragon swaying its tail and Optimus Prime, and a phoenix embellishing the dew. It is like shaking its tail and spraying pearls and jade. Thunder resounded for 9 days, and countless strange phenomena filled the Purple Sky Palace. Many great powers in the Zixiao Palace have also entered a state of enlightenment. This lecture covers 3,000 years. P.S. Today's first chapter, the new book sets sail, even if it's a flower, a review ticket, 100 rewards, a monthly pass. I hope everyone can support me, thank you. Chapter 10. Xuanli's promotion to Quasi-Saint Ho 2 visits. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The preaching at Zixiao Palace continues. The Western World, the North Mountain. Sunli sat tall in the bamboo tower, his face changed before becoming serious. Blue lights appeared behind me, with fairy lights permeating my body. A blue chaos appeared on top of his head, with a purple aura of the beginning of the Hongmeng era and a hint of lightning, covering Sunli's side. The thunder of Hongmeng, purple with a hint of black, can destroy a sacred mountain and ignite a huge lake in an instant with just a hint of lightning. Not to mention the dense and seemingly endless purple electricity. Sunli dared not neglect and exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Once again revealed its true form, a emerald green arrow bamboo, chiseled out of the deep mountains with 1,000 hammers, possessing an indomitable spirit. Over 300 years have passed like this. The green bamboo of Cuizhou finally couldn't resist the impact of purple thunder and was destroyed into charred bamboo charcoal. Suddenly, a green bamboo shoot emerged from the dead ash, regaining its vitality and growing vigorously in the blink of an eye, becoming a towering green bamboo. The Sanskrit on the bamboo leaves on the branches is even more mysterious and difficult to understand, adorned with tadpole-like thunder script. The spiritual bamboo transformed into the shape of the innate Tao body, and Sunli opened his eyes with a smile on his lips. I can't believe that after practicing for tens of thousands of years, I have finally perfected the law of life. He is originally a carrier of spiritual bamboo, walking the path of vitality, which can also be considered mutually beneficial. Through hundreds of thousands of years of asceticism, coupled with the help of an understanding that goes against the heavens, I have observed the evolution of heaven and earth over these tens of thousands of years, gradually cultivating the mysterious immortal, realizing the fruit of the Tao, and gathering 3 flowers in my head. The ultimate law, the law of life, as soon as the flower blooms, as soon as the flower falls. Destroy under the purple thunder of Hongmeng, realize the true path of life, and only after destruction will there be rebirth. Moreover, his wandering in the realm of life and death made him realize the 2 great paths of life and death, and he seized the opportunity to master the 2 laws. After Hongjun became a saint, the cultivation level was reset. As long as one of the 3,000 cultivation paths was condensed into a law, he could become a quasi-saint. Now Xuanli should be regarded as a quasi-saint, and a quasi-saint of the law of life and death. Hongmeng has not yet been judged, chaos has not yet opened, and Pangu is before the opening of heaven. 3,000 chaotic demons were born from nothingness, each wielding a path of destiny, causality, time, space, creation, destruction, and so on. Only by turning the dominant path into one's own, can one achieve the true state of being a sage without disasters or calamities, with heaven and earth decaying me eternal. Since the birth of the 3,000 demon gods, there has been a quasi-holy and perfect cultivation, which means practicing the rules to the extreme. If Sun Li's current cultivation were in the era of 3,000 demon gods, he might not be able to defeat one of them. After all, he had just mastered the rules. However, in the midst of the chaos, after 3,000 years of preaching in the Zixiao Palace, only Laozi was from the later stage of the Dalai Lama, and he was almost granted the right to become a saint. After the preaching at Zixiao Palace is completed, many great powers will become quasi-saints, and the era of prosperity will enter the true Golden Age. A golden immortal is better than a dog, and it is understandable that De Luo is walking everywhere. The quasi-saint and the saint cannot be compared. As for the method of becoming a saint, it is extremely difficult. Since the ancient times and countless meetings, only Pangu and Hongjun have proven to be saints. Not to mention the later 6 saints, they are just picking up teeth and wisdom. Standing on the shoulders of giants does not count as walking out of their own path. Just as Sun Li was preparing to consolidate his cultivation, his mind suddenly moved. Only a voice came from outside the northern mountain. Sun Li, Dao Yu, Hudu is coming to visit. In the blink of an eye, Sun Li had arrived outside the North Mountain. Seeing a fairy, barefoot in a battle dress, with a wheat skin tone and a graceful figure, especially the revealing curves of her thighs that evoke imagination. Extremely beautiful in appearance and possessing a heroic aura, standing on top of a fiery serpent. This is Ho-Tu, the Empress of Peace, the authentic creator. He is also one of the 12 ancestors of the Wu tribe. The essence and blood of the Wu tribe Pangu are transformed, only cultivating the physical body without cultivating the spiritual essence. When their true body is revealed, they reach a height of tens of thousands of zhang, and their qi and blood rush through the 9 heavens. The current Ho-Tu is only an image of the innate Tao body, a female immortal. Sun Li smiled. The two of them had known each other for thousands of years, and it was also an accident that a young man from the Wu tribe accidentally entered the northern mountains and slaughtered the monsters, which were destroyed by Sun Li. To provoke this ancestor of the Wu clan, Wu Ho-Tu, there was no choice but to resort to all possible means. The Wu ethnic group is arrogant, disrespectful to heaven and earth, only respecting Pangu, but also respecting the strong. The Wu ethnic group claims to be descendants of their father and God, and has always wanted to unify the wilderness. They have offended many big clans in the wilderness and made many enemies. Faced with the immense power of Sun Li, Ho-Tu did not want to easily offend him. Moreover, Sun Li guarded the northern mountain alone, feeling helpless, and thus developed a desire to make friends. The two of them don't even know each other. Today, the Zixiao Palace was captured in Ho-Tu, but it did not return to the headquarters of the Wuzhou tribe in Buzhou Mountain. But instead came to Beishan to seek Sun Li. She knew that if any great master in the wilderness had not gone to Zixiao Palace, except for the witch race, Sun Li would definitely be considered a person. It's just that Sun Li is low-key and few people know about it. Sun Li's ability was no less than that of anyone in the Sanqing, but he did not go to the Zixiao Palace to listen to the teachings, which made her curious. Suddenly, her eyes trembled with disbelief. She felt the lingering charm of the rules from Sun Li, and only by mastering the rules could she have this aura. In the wilderness, some spiritual beings, as long as they feel the breath of laws, will avoid them far away. This is the deterrence that only the highest-level experts in the wilderness possess. The Wu ethnic group has a keen sense of the 5 senses when cultivating their physical body, which can be easily understood at a glance. Ho-Tu smiled and said, "Congratulations to you, Taoist friend. Your cultivation has further improved." Sun Li realized this time and had just broken through the realm, his breath unstable. With a movement of his mind, he lost all his breath and was like an ordinary person. This method once again surprised the later generations. The breath can be freely absorbed and released, it seems that one has mastered the rules proficiently. The two of them didn't stay long outside the North Mountain and had already arrived at the bamboo tower. Outside the bamboo tower, the horse-tinged snake in Ho-Tu looked at the giant panda, round and full, lying on the ground, basking in the sun, feeling uncomfortable. Ting Snake poked the round belly of the giant panda with its tail. Yuan didn't even open her eyes, so she scratched and tickled with her hand before turning her head to sleep. Sun Li looked amused, and indeed he was a national treasure, even so cute when sleeping. Ho-Tu picked up the tea ceremony cooked by Sun Li and said, "Friend Dao, it's so elegant that you can enjoy the hidden mountains and raise pandas. P.S. The new book set sail, kneeling down to ask everyone to cast some flowers, review tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, a review ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can support me a lot, thank you."